What changes when you relax about money? Hi, I'm Sarah McCrum. I'm the author of Love Money, Money Loves You. And one of the first questions that people often have for me after reading the book is about relaxing, especially when they're worried about money or it's causing them a lot of stress. They say, how can I possibly relax? And is it even really a good thing? In fact, I've had some people say, there is no way that I'm going to relax. That's not something I'm going to do. I cannot afford to do that about money. So I'd like to explain to you why it's important to relax about money and what actually happens when you do that and how it changes your relationship with money, because then you'll understand why it's such a valuable activity. As human beings, we are constantly receiving and releasing energy. We receive fresh energy from the universe and we release old energy. And that fresh energy is what makes us alive. Now, if you've read Love Money, Money Loves You, you will know that money is also an energy, and therefore it's very valuable to be able to receive money energy and the energy of the things we would like to have, that we would like to spend our money on, just as it's important to receive normal kind of life energy. And money energy works on exactly the same principles as life energy. Now, I spent 22 years training with Chinese masters, which means that I was learning about life energy all of that time, and I've been teaching for even more years than that. So this is something that I'm very familiar with, and I'd like to explain to you a little bit how it works with relaxation. When you relax, you open up. And when you open up, you receive fresh energy. That's literally how it works. When you receive fresh energy, that fresh energy pushes out the old energy, which is the energy you don't need anymore. That fresh energy is what makes you alive. It's also the coding of your life, if you like. It's what makes all the things happen in your life, from your heart beating and your lungs breathing and your hair growing, none of which happen if you're not receiving life energy. But it also makes the things happen like how your meetings go, whether you meet the right people, whether money comes into your bank account, all of these things that have to do with money and business. So it's very, very important that we know how to receive fresh energy. And the essence of that is relaxing in a certain kind of way so that that energy can flow through you. If you're very tight and tense, everything closes, everything contracts, and your energy meridians or your energy channels also contract. And that's why you don't get so much energy when you're tense as you do when you're relaxed. When you're relaxed, you often feel like, oh, I have more energy now. I feel good, you feel happier, you feel better, and that is because you have more of this fresh energy flowing through you. So what changes in relation to money when you relax about money? First of all, when I'm teaching people, I teach them a very specific technique of how to relax, which is actually how to relax about everything, and it includes money. It's not so much that you need to relax about money as that you need to relax in general. And when you do that, what I find is that everybody comes along and says, oh, I feel much more relaxed about money. Now, in one way, that's a good thing in its own right, because it's good to feel relaxed, but there's much more to it than that. When you worry and get stressed about money, you constantly put out a message. It's almost like an instruction to the universe for things to go wrong. You're thinking all the time and putting attention into what might go wrong, what you're missing, what you're lacking, what's not right about your life. You're putting a lot of energy into that. And what you put energy into is what grows in your life. So you really don't want to put energy into what's going to go wrong. What you want to do is put energy into what could go right, the things that you want, the life that you're creating, the person you'd love to become, and the things that you would love to be able to buy. When we're relaxed, we're receiving fresh energy. We think about fresh things. We don't think about all the things that could go wrong. We start to dream about having a better life. And that's exactly what the book and what the energy of money is telling us to do. Dream about having a better life, because that actually activates your financial systems and the money system so that you can literally receive more money. The other thing that happens when you're relaxed is that you are in a more receptive state. A lot of people recognize that they tend to shut money out. They perhaps avoid thinking about it, or they think about it very negatively, Or somebody says, here, let me give you some money, let me give you some help here. And they say, oh no, thank you, I don't need it. So we have many ways of shutting money out, perhaps because we think it's bad or negative or it's going to cause us some harm. When you're relaxed, you are naturally receptive. And so you're receptive to money as well. And as an energy, that means it can actually get into your system rather than being held off by all the barriers that you've built around you. And that's actually very important. And typically what happens when people relax is they start to receive money, sometimes from unexpected places. And they start to realize that money can flow in more easily. Sometimes invoices get paid that haven't been paid for a long time. I've seen people discover a whole lot of tax refunds that they weren't expecting, or it comes in more quickly than they were expecting. I've even seen people find an old bank account they didn't know they had and find quite a lot of money in it. Sometimes people get little gifts. Often it's almost as if we're getting a sign that this money thing, this system that I'm showing you through the book really works, that money, the energy of money, is really paying attention to us. And as we become more relaxed about money, it simply becomes easier to receive more money. It doesn't mean that you can sit on a sofa and do nothing. What it means is if you're working or if you're doing business or if you're owed something, all of that money will flow more easily towards you, and that is a really good thing. You will have noticed that all the way through the book it's telling us to relax about money, and this is the very first and most powerful thing that I ever teach people, is how to do that. And so if you want to learn how to do that, the place to do it is in my course, which is called Love Money, and I'll put a link down below for you to sign up for that if you're interested. If you want to learn a little bit more, I'm going to teach you about the next key thing, which is enjoy. So we have relax, enjoy, love. This is the first video about relaxing. My next video is going to be about enjoying your relationship with money. And the third video will be about loving money. So if you want to watch the next one, it will come up in a moment.